Recording in progress.
Sorry.
I think it was overkill. You know that word, overkill?
Overkill.
You know it?
Too tired. You were too tired.
Sort of. It's like when you going overboard or saying that something is overkill is referring to saying that like the difficulty level is too high to be useful, or that you tried too hard. Like, for example, you could say, isn't that overkill if your friend for a school project puts all this time? Let's say you're in high school and your friend is working on a project and they spend hours and hours like researching everything and making a really long video and interviewing people, and you might say to them, isn't that a bit overkill for this project, since the project was just to write a few sentences about the subject?
Do you put E at the back?
What's that?
Do you put E at the back of
Overkill? No, it's just spelled like overkill, but one word.
Oh, okay. Wait a moment, let me adjust the audio.
Yeah, your audio is coming in and out for me.
Okay.
Let me check. Can you hear me okay?
Hello?
Yeah.
You
sound good. Sound normal.
But from here.
Oh. Yeah, you're cutting in and out. The Wi-Fi here isn't great. I'm actually not home, so the Wi-Fi could be an issue.
Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can. But then it's on me.
You're coming in and out. Hold on. Let me see.
Hello?
Just keep talking.
Hello?
Okay, that's good. All right, let's begin. So I have 5 warm-up sentences for you.
Okay.
All right. And I was thinking, why don't you type them into the chat?
Type them in.
Yeah, that way I can see exactly what you type.
In a moment, because I can see it close. Maybe it works fine on you, but not for me in a moment.
Okay. Oh, good. Test.
Hello?
Hello. Test. Okay.
Yeah, it works fine now.
Okay, number 1. Chivalry was a medieval code of ethics that dictated the way knights were meant to behave.
So, sorry, one more time, please.
Chivalry or chivalry. You can pronounce it either way. Chivalry or chivalry.
Okay.
Chivalry was a medieval code of ethics that dictated the way knights were meant to behave.
Chivalry was a medieval code of ethics that dictated
the way knights were meant to behave.
The way knights were meant to behave.
Right. Knights as in a horse soldier.
Yeah, the horse soldiers.
Okay. Number 2. The term chivalry derives from the Old French term chevalerie. You don't have to spell that. Which can be translated as horse soldiery. The term chivalry derives from the Old French term chevalerie, which can be translated as horse soldiery. And once more at full speed. The term chivalry derives from the Old French term chevalerie, which can be translated as horse soldiery.
Horse soldiery.
Horse soldiery, yes.
I don't need to spell that chivalry like after
No,
right?
not the French version. It's quite
Okay.
bizarre, the spelling.
So the third one.
Okay, number 3. Today, chivalry refers to the way that a man should act towards a woman. Today, chivalry refers to the way that a man should act towards a woman.
Today, chivalry refers to the way
That a man should act towards a woman.
a man should act to a woman.
Toward. Okay, I'm going to read once more at full speed. Today, chivalry refers to the way that a man should act towards a woman.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay,
Much
number 4.
faster.
Medieval chivalry included a set of rules that emphasized honor and loyalty. Medieval chivalry included a set of rules that emphasized honor and loyalty.
Medieval chivalry included a set of rules that emphasizes honor and loyalty.
Emphasized, past tense, that emphasized honor and loyalty.
Okay. I'm done.
All right. And modern chivalry dictates that men should hold doors for women, but some feminists believe that chivalry is sexist. At full speed, modern chivalry dictates that men should hold doors for women, but some feminists believe that chivalry is sexist.
Modern chivalry dictates that men should hold doors for women, but some women believes that it is sexist.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
so
all.
let's check your answers.
Oh yeah, I actually typed it on the Microsoft Word. So let
All
me.
right. You could copy and paste them in. Or, yeah, I want to see what you wrote, actually. Let me share the answers with you, too. Okay.
Okay.
So 1 is correct. 2, you missed. From the term chivalry derives from blank, the Old French term which, you forgot which, can be translated as horse soldiery. Today, chivalry refers to the way that a man should act towards a woman, correct. Medieval chivalry included a set of rules that emphasized honor and loyalty, correct. Modern chivalry dictates that men should hold doors for women, but some women believe. Remember, women is plural, so use a plural verb, which means no S. It's kind of the opposite of what you'd expect.
Oh, but some feminists. But some feminists. Oh, okay.
Right. So if you have, you know that, right? Subject verb agreement. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I'm going to save that. And
Do I have this worksheet?
No, let me share it with you. Actually, yes, I think you do. Let me make sure. And then we'll move on to this one. But it has some grammar stuff, and then we'll get into discussion. So share. Yeah, you have this.
Okay.
You have it already. Okay, so let's go to here. So you got this one and this one were your mistakes. The rest were correct. And again, I wanted to make sure that our warm-up sentences followed a sort of theme, which today was chivalry.
What's the punctuation for the double dots or the double comma dot there?
You mean the quotation marks?
Oh yeah, quotation mark. This is the quotation mark.
You can do it either way. So you can have your full stop before, like this, or you could have it after. So you use it to emphasize a quote, like a word that's taken from somewhere else. Like really, there should be quotes around this too. I would put quotes around chivalry, but I didn't. So, it's just used when you want to say something when you're quoting someone. Then you're literally using quotation marks. Like people do this with their fingers. Like he said, and I quote, "You should stop before you get hurt." Or there might be a famous quote like, "Honesty is the best policy," and you put quotes around it. Since they're not your words, you're quoting quoting someone else, right? When you're borrowing someone else's words, or when you're using a vocabulary word that you want to emphasize. Another option would be to make it like this. But because when we're writing with handwriting, we can't use italics. We can't italicize things. You know italics, right? These
Make
are
it fun
italics.
a little bit.
Right. So we can't do that when we're writing with a pen and paper. So instead we put the little marks.
Okay.
It's similar to when you're talking about the title of a novel or a long book. It can be nonfiction too, not just a novel. But when you're talking about the title of a book in print, you usually see it written like this: the Holy Bible, right? But when people write it they'll write it like this when they're using handwriting. Or sorry, they won't use quotes. That's for poetry. They'll use underline. Right? So if they're writing the title of a book with handwriting, they'll write it and then put a line underneath it. In other words, they'll underline it. But if they're typing, they'll use italics.
Okay, got it.
Titles of books. For short stories and poems, we use quotation marks.
Oh.
So
We underline the phrase when we want to start off when we want to put the title, we will put a line at the bottom of the phrase.
That's called underlining.
Underlining.
Yeah.
It just happens when you want to put the phrase on top of the paragraphs, right? And then you put it in the middle.
Or like I said, when you're talking about when you're using handwriting, or you can do it on the computer too in a word processor, when you're talking about the title of a book. For
Mhm.
short stories and poems, we use quotation marks. So a poem could be called, let's see, what's a famous poem? I don't know. Let's just make one up. A fork in the road. Okay.
Okay.
So that's for a short story or a poem. For a full length book, you're going to use an underline or a quotation mark is acceptable. Sorry, or italicizing it is acceptable. So italics versus
Italicizing
yeah, italics,
the words.
italicizing, underline, underlining. I'll put the actual line under it so that it's easier to remember which one is which.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go to common mistakes. So the first one I want to talk about is, and I'll share this with you now so that we don't. I think I already did. Maybe not.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. And I'm gonna make you a viewer. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is I versus me, which it seems super easy, and it sort of is, but this was something that growing up I was told, I was taught this incorrectly. I mean, I figured it out on my own, but a lot of my grammar school teachers, so like K through 6, were they insisted that you should use I in certain situations, and I'll get into that in a bit. So let's start with reading. So can you read this?
I is the first person singular subject pronoun, which means that it refers to the person performing the action of a word.
Right, you should know that already, correct?
Means I'm just guessing. Means that we use the word I when we want to start off a sentence. I want to start a
Sure.
sentence.
It's the subject, but it's first person.
The
So
first,
first person is I or we. Singular means I only. We is plural, right? And then subject is the subject of the sentence. So it's what the sentence is about, or it's the thing, the noun that is performing the action. Right?
so
I read.
what's the opposite of the passive voice, like, or passive sentence? Active sentence?
Yeah,
Do you know
active is the
active,
opposite of passive. But we
active
don't
sentence
usually
and
say
passive sentence?
active, we just say passive. It's like the active is implied, meaning you're supposed to just know that if it's not passive, it has to be active.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, um, it refers to the person performing the action of a verb. A pronoun is always taking the place of a noun, right? Pro means for. If we go back to our morphemes, it can mean for, or it can mean like, yeah, it's for. So like pro abortion means you're for abortion. Pronoun means for, but it means the secondary meaning of for, which is in place of. So in place of a noun. Okay,
Yeah.
so I want to go. This is the one I like. You and I need to get ready. Sarah and I are going to the movies. It's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to me.
Because some students they use me and my brother. Some students they like when they write a composition, right? They will just
Right.
write me and my brother. Is it acceptable? Because
No,
some teachers they mark it wrongly.
those teachers would be correct. Me and my brother is wrong because me is the subject pronoun there. And me is an object pronoun, which if you read this part,
Me is an object pronoun, which means that it refers to the person that the action of the verb is being done to, or to whom a preposition refers.
right? So David told me to leave. Here it's the object. He gave me $10. Between you and me, this is a bad idea. Okay? This one is actually reversed. If you look, this is a prepositional phrase. So between is your preposition, and it refers to you and me. This is a bad idea. This is our subject here. Kind of interesting. So the subject doesn't always have to be at the beginning of the sentence.
Mm-mm.
This is an unusual one.
Why can't we use between you and I?
Because it's an object here. You
That's
and
not
me,
pretty-
it's actually part of the prepositional phrase. So the preposition refers to you and me. So if we would say between you and I, then we're talking about the subject, but this isn't the subject. You could say this: I think that this is a bad idea. Between you and me, I think that this is a bad idea. I is our subject.
The subject.
Think is our verb. That this is a bad idea. Between you and me is our prepositional phrase.
Okay, got it.
So maybe I'll make a copy of this so that we can make edits to it.
I'll print it later. I haven't printed this, or I haven't printed this
I haven't printed this yet, you would say.
yet.
Implying yet implies that you're going to print it in the future. But you could say I haven't printed this, but normally when you're talking about in that way, you would use yet at the end. Okay, let me go back. I want to add this because we have an implied speaker here, which is I. So between you and me, this is a bad idea. We could also say, I think that this is a bad idea. But normally, if you hear people talking, they'll say, between you and me, this is a bad idea. It's supposed to mean what? When you say between you and me and then a phrase, what's the point of saying between you and me? It's not literal. It doesn't mean that, like,
It doesn't give you a full meaning, right?
yeah, what do you think why would you say to someone, between you and me, I think she's cheating on him? Why would you say between you and me?
Why can't we use either you or me?
Why can't we use or?
Like,
Because
why
whenever
can't we
we
use either you or me? This is a bad idea.
it wouldn't make sense.
That wouldn't make sense.
No, because between, even though you're talking figuratively, so you're not literally saying my head is between my hands. My head is between my left and right hands. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You always use and with between, because between talks about two objects and then something that is between them. So you can't say my head is between my left hand or my right hand. You have to say my head is between my left hand and my right hand. So this conversation is not literal. They're not saying literally between you and me. Like, I'm not saying this notebook is between you and me. No, but I'm saying let's keep this conversation between you and me. It's supposed to mean that it's a secret. You're confiding confiding, confiding a secret with someone. So you want to keep them from talking about it to other people. So by saying between you and me, you're keeping it confidential, confiding in them,
Okay.
in someone.
So I can make
So
a sentence
you're
like,
using a confiding tone. It gives the sentence a confiding tone, like you're sharing something that other people don't know and you don't want them to know.
oh, so basically there's nothing related to the preposition, right?
It's a figurative use of the. I'll spell that out.
Figurative
Yeah.
use.
Do you know the difference between literal and figurative?
No.
Okay, let's get into that for a second. So, literal means that, okay, you might say, these are literally my car keys
Mm-hmm.
because they are, right?
Yeah.
Thing that's literal means that this is the truth, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you could say, I'm like 200 pounds, or I'm like 130 kilos, meaning you're trying to say that you feel fat, but you're not literally 130 kilos. You're figuratively, right? You're using a figure of speech. So you're talking about something, you're exaggerating, or you're saying something that isn't literally true to talk about a point. You're conveying a point without giving literal things. So here, between you and me it's figuratively. The idea is that this gossip is supposed to stay between your head and that person's head. Okay, so it's figurative. You're sharing information that you want to stay between two people. Between means it's contained, it's not spreading outside those two people.
Okay.
It's common for people who gossip with you, they want to say, hey, did you hear about this? Between you and me, they're going to break up. You want to talk about it in, think about somebody whispering something to someone. We're talking about it at work where they don't want other people to hear.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So we have literal, or literally. Figurative, or figuratively. Like somebody might say, that car is literally the most expensive I've seen. In this case, that car is the most expensive car you've ever seen. Versus if you're using figurative, you would say that car is something like so if someone says that car is like the most expensive I've ever seen, they're saying that it's very expensive, but probably not being literal. Okay.
Okay.
If they say literally and
By
it's
far?
not the most expensive car they've ever seen, then they're using literally incorrectly, because literally means that this is the most expensive car you've ever seen.
Can I say like that car is by far the most expensive I've ever seen? By
Yes, you
far.
can. And
Or I can put so far, comma, so far that car is the most.
no,
You don't say
Your
that, right?
original sentence is correct. Don't say
So I
so
put so
far.
far in the middle of the sentence.
Yeah, that I've seen so far. Okay.
Okay. But conversationally, we can say so far it's pretty good, right? We can put it in front of a sentence, like
Yeah.
when
How's your day going? Well, so far it's pretty good.
okay.
So far I've finished 3 assignments. Or you can say, I've finished 3 assignments so far. It's up to you. But if you put it in the beginning, you need to use a comma. So,
What about like apparently? Because I notice a lot of native
yeah.
speakers always say that apparently.
Apparently is always at the beginning. Well, almost always. I finished 3 assignments so far. Or you can say, so far I've finished 3 assignments. Apparently, she was so drunk that she forgot her own address. It's like you're telling a story about something. Or you could say, actually, you could use it in the middle of the sentence, but it's more common at the beginning. She was so drunk that she apparently forgot her own address. So in the second one, well, in both cases, the meaning is that that's what it appears. Appears changes to apparently, and then we're talking about this is the way that it appears. So someone's telling you a bit of gossip or a story, and then they use apparently to show that.
Means
It's not confirmed.
it's not
It's how
confirmed.
it appears. Sort of like allegedly.
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 Okay, allegedly.
The alleged murderer. It means the police think that he did it, but he hasn't been convicted in a court yet.
Convicted convicted in a court.
Yeah, like he hasn't been found guilty, but they think he did it.
Okay, apparently. But I found this word in the science subject too, like the apparent way. So when we will learn about like the buoyancy, the
Yeah.
buoyant force, and then they have this apparent weight. So apparent weight means the fake one, right?
Apparently or apparent weight.
Apparent weight, because native speakers they always use apparently in their conversation, in their dialogues, but then in science they use apparent weight. Yeah.
Okay, it would mean the way that something appears.
Mm-mm.
The apparent weight of the object, meaning I'm not 100% on this, the meaning here, but it should mean apparent comes from appear. But I'll put a question mark there because I'm not actually sure
Here,
how it's being used. I'd have to see it. If you showed it to me in context, I could probably figure it out.
okay.
But without context, I really can't say. It's outside my zone of expertise. Okay, so and then one more. She needs to talk. We're still talking about me. So she needs to talk to Joe or me. Here's your example of using or. So a good way to check is if you delete Joe, does it still work? Yeah, it does. She needs to talk to me. Or if you delete me, it'll still work. She needs to talk to Joe. If you have I here, she needs to talk to Joe or I. If you got rid of Joe, what would it say? Let's look at this in if we use I instead of me. Because some teachers will tell you to put an I here. Now try reading it without Joe or.
She needs to talk to I.
Yeah, it sounds wrong, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something to watch out for. Because for some reason, Western teachers think that, some of them at least, think that you should use I even when it's not correct. So native English speakers often correct sentences, changing me to I. So can you read these?
Okay. For example, okay, she was hanging out with Clara and me. You,
That's correct.
a native teacher might say, you mean she was hanging out with Clara and I.
Incorrect, since I is a subject pronoun. So subject she, verb was hanging out with, I guess, too. And then Clara and me. That's your object here.
How about if like my parents bought Clara and me a gift, or my
Correct.
mother
Because
bought
again,
Clara and I?
take out Clara and read it again. My parents bought me a gift. So you wouldn't say my parents bought I a gift.
Okay, got it.
So hopefully that's useful, because I was taught that you should use I. Like, for example, in the subject, you should always say I, right? So Clara and I are going out to play. Okay, that's fine. But then some teachers would also say, would you like to play with Clara and I? Which is wrong. You should say, would you like to play with Clara and me? So just
Okay.
one of those things. All right. So then I wanted to get into ways to use past tense to talk about times other than the past. So the first one is for uncertainty. So can you go ahead and read through this?
When a plan isn't certain, I was thinking of going to that party later.
In this example,
In this example, the use of past continuous makes the plan less definite in the speaker's mind that if she had used a present continuous sentence, I am thinking of going to the party later.
right? So you see how it changes? So I am thinking of going to the party later is more definite. It's like you're committing to going to that party. But I was thinking of going to that party later is like you're still considering it in your head. You're 50-50 maybe.
Okay.
This is an important one, number 2. Really important.
Okay. I was wondering if your report was ready.
So the reason is to be polite.
Sometimes we don't use it to indicate something that happened in the past, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So
To be polite. These are all examples of using past tense for other purposes besides talking about the past.
okay.
So the first one is talking about future plans. The second one is talking about present, but being polite. So in this example,
Why can't we just say that, oh, is your report ready?
you could.
Oh, okay. This is another way of asking.
This is the softer way to say it.
Oh, okay. In this example, the use of past continuous and past simple make the speaker sound more polite than if he had used present tense. I am wondering if your report is ready. Oh, okay. If you say it like that, that's mean like you are rushing that person to
Correct. Yeah.
submit your report. Okay.
Is your report ready? It's direct, not super polite though. It just depends. Maybe if it's the first time you ask them, you would say, I was wondering if your report was ready. Hey, John, I was wondering if your report was ready, the boss said. Okay, second time, is your report ready? Third time, John, I really need that report. Please finish it. So, in order of urgency, we start with very polite and not urgent. Like just, hey, I was wondering if your report was ready. Second, we directly ask the question, is your is your report ready? And then third time, you tell them how urgent the situation is. Like beyond just being direct, you say, John, I really need that report. So you use the imperative. Imperative is giving orders to someone.
Okay, got it.
At fourth time might be, John, give me that report. So imperative again, direct. It's rude, but at this point it's urgent.
Okay.
So you can use past continuous to talk about something, and because it's not as direct, it comes off as more polite. Again, I'm not telling you that you should use this. I want you to be able to recognize it and know that it's correct grammatically. You understand? I
Okay.
don't
Not
I don't
necessarily I have to use this in
yeah,
my
right.
daily
I don't
conversation.
I think you would be fine just saying, is your report ready? Is your homework finished?
Yeah, because I might sound too posh if I use if
Sure,
I
yeah.
this way.
It depends on your audience too. If you're talking to your students, then you want to keep things simple.
Mm-mm.
Okay. To sound more urgent. You know urgent?
Means you're rushing.
Yeah,
It's time we left.
good.
Can I say it's time for us to go?
Yeah, you could say that. In this example,
The use of past tense makes the speaker sound more urgent than if she had used the present tense. It's time to leave. By using the past, the speaker gives the idea that we should have left already.
yeah. And you can say that too. You said we should have you can say we should have left already,
We should have left already.
right? So it's saying like the time we're already running late.
Okay. So, sorry, can you help me to type that out?
Which part?
Uh, Below it's time we left. Oh, okay. We should have left. We should have left already. Can I say we should have left by now?
Yeah.
By now is also acceptable, right?
Yeah, I would actually normally in my preference is for by now. Like, hey, we should have left by now. Let's go.
And then with wish and if only I wish I had more time. If only I had more time.
Right. So, this is actually talking about that when we first had lessons together, I talked about there's times when the mood, MOOD, dictates that you use a different tense to talk about things that are hypothetical.
Mhm.
This should say present.
Can I say like how I wish
Yeah.
I had, I
How
had,
I wish
I
I
had,
had.
I had, right? You are
Yeah, you
just
can say that.
assuming how I
Oh,
wish
how
I
I
had.
wish I had more time,
Okay,
more money, more students. I don't know. Anything that you wish, but you don't actually have. So you're talking about hypothetical
okay.
stuff. Hypothetical, you know that what that means. So After wish and if only, we have to use the past tense. Present tenses are not correct. However, these sentences have a hypothetical present or future meaning. Okay. So we kind of covered this already, and it's on one of the worksheets that I already gave you.
But I didn't bring out. I did.
The idea that we use past, like we use like the V2 form of the verb to talk about hypothetical situations.
We
You don't say,
more.
normally you would say, I have more time. But because we're talking about a hypothetical, we use had. I wish I had more time. Or I wish we had more time together, that sort of thing. Okay, what about this one? Number 5.
With suppose and what if. Suppose we went on holiday to Thailand. What if we finished before the deadline?
Mm-hmm.
I don't really get the first one. Suppose we went on holiday to Thailand.
You're suggesting,
Memories.
you're making a suggestion.
Can I say like, shall we go to Thailand for our holiday? Does
Yeah,
it
good.
mean the same way?
Similar.
Similar.
Yeah.
And also, sometimes I'm quite confused with the usage of should and shall.
Shall, yeah. So
Shall.
shall is just the form of the verb to be.
The verb.
Like shall we, like I shall, instead of it's future, right? So it's like will. Okay. So it used to be that you should say, actually it's not the verb to be, it's just its own thing. So I shall go to bed. It used to be you needed to say shall after I, or we shall go to bed. But now shall has been replaced in this usage by will.
Will. But
So
it's not.
I will go to bed. We will go to bed. So we no longer use shall. You can use it if you want, but it's old fashioned.
Like, how about if we add sentence like, shall we?
Yeah, that's where you still use shall. So if you're making a suggestion,
Okay.
shall we go? Right? So you could say, shall we go to Thailand on holiday? But I would say, suppose we went on holiday to Thailand is something that you would say, you're just floating ideas. Like you're putting an idea out there for the other person to think about. Shall we? Shall we is like you've already made up your mind.
But you are still
It's subtle.
asking people,
These are subtle
asking for people's
differences.
opinion.
Go ahead.
You are just asking for people's opinion, right?
Correct. In both cases, yes. But shall we is more definite. And should we is also acceptable.
Should we go to Thailand on holiday? Why not we use for holiday? Shall we go to Thailand for holiday? Cannot.
Why can't we use what?
Shall we go to Thailand for our holiday?
You can say that.
Oh, okay. Because both for and on
On
are
holiday just means you're taking a holiday. For our holiday means that you already have holiday time scheduled. Like your work or your school has a holiday and then you're using that holiday in general.
Should we go to Thailand on holiday?
Yeah, it's up to you. Both are really interchangeable because you could also make your own holiday
Can
and
I
then
say
say,
on vacation? Shall
yeah,
we go to Thailand on vacation?
this is the
Or
American way, actually. This is how I would say it. Let me show you how I would say it.
Mhm.
Should we go to Thailand? Actually, I would say it here. On vacation to Thailand.
Should we go on vacation to Thailand?
So I would put the vacation or holiday before Thailand. Americans say vacation. People who are from the UK or one of the countries that are connected with the UK, like Ireland or Australia, they say holiday.
Okay, so like I can say I'm on vacation, but
Yeah,
what
I'm
if
on
we want to
vacation.
be more specific? I'm on vacation in Thailand.
Yeah, that's
In
correct.
okay,
But if you were British, you would say I'm on holiday.
I'm on holiday.
Americans would say I'm on vacation, but both of them are going to be able to understand you. So
Okay,
it
got it.
just comes down to it comes down to your personal preference, whichever you like to use. One difference though is when Americans use holiday, they're talking about like Christmas, Easter, New Year's. They're talking about holidays that are already scheduled for everyone, like a national holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Americans do use holiday. They'll say happy holidays around Christmas,
Happy holiday around Christmas.
holidays, because it includes Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, okay. Happy holidays on Christmas,
Anytime around Christmas, New Year's,
New Year's.
they're going to say happy holidays or Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. But Happy New Year and Merry Christmas are both specific. By saying happy holidays, you include people that aren't Christian, right? So you include Jews who are going to celebrate Hanukkah. You include
Hanukkah?
Muslims who are going to celebrate, I forget what,
What does it
Ramadan.
mean by Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is the Jewish Christmas, basically.
Oh, okay.
They have a holiday that's around the same time as Christmas that is their way of remembering something from the past in the Jewish religion.
Oh, can you help me to type that out?
Hanukkah?
Yeah,
Sure.
Hanukkah. Oh, okay.
I guess it has two Ks like that. They sometimes spell it with a CH too.
See, Shanukkah,
Yeah, but the C is silent here.
Hanukkah. Oh, okay. So how about Navidad?
That's just that's Christian, but it literally means nativity.
Nativity.
So Feliz Navidad is Merry Christmas in Mexico and Spain or any South American country that speaks Spanish. But
Oh, it's a Spanish. It's not English. Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad, yeah, that's Feliz means happy and Navidad means it. They don't say Christmas. They say nativity. Do you know this word?
No.
Nativity refers to the birth of Jesus,
Oh,
just
okay.
like Christmas. So
So
the nativity
here
would be.
for
Have you ever seen a little set where it shows Mary, Joseph, the baby Jesus, and the shepherds and wise men? Have you seen that before?
yeah, in a
That's called a nativity set. So
nativity
it,
set.
yeah,
SET set.
it shows the nativity, which is the birth of Christ. But Mexicans in Spanish, they say Navidad instead of Christmas because they're referring to the nativity.
So the part of
Feliz Navidad.
A
Happy
part of
Happy
Bible.
Nativity, or basically Merry Christmas
Mm,
in Spanish.
okay, understood.
They're not going to say, I don't even think they have a word for Christmas. They probably just say Christmas.
So when you go to Mexico or Spain, then they
You say
will
Feliz
say Feliz
Navidad,
Navidad.
correct.
Okay.
Because it's Spain and Mexico are majority Catholic, so they do celebrate Christmas. They're big on it.
But how about like Prospero Anno y Felicidad?
Prospero Año means Happy New Year.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It literally translates to have a prosperous year.
Have a prosperous
Prospero is prosperous, so like have a year full of like being successful.
Anno y Felicidad.
Prospero año y felicidad. Have a happy and prosperous new year. Felicidad is the adjective form of happy. So
Mm,
have a happy and prosperous new year.
mm, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I know a bit of Spanish, so I hope I can help there. Okay. And when we use the past tense after suppose and what if, the situation sounds less likely than if we had used present tense. Suppose we go on holiday to Thailand.
Suppose we go. Is this a statement or a question?
It's a statement.
Suppose we go on holiday to Thailand. That means you are giving suggestion that we go on holiday to Thailand.
Yeah, but this is they're comparing it. Let me move it so that it's in the original form. So compare it with suppose we went on holiday to Thailand. Compare it with suppose we go on holiday to Thailand. Which one sounds more definite?
Definite. I guess. Suppose we go on holiday
Correct.
to
Yeah.
Thailand.
So if you want to be more suggestive, then you would use suppose we went on holiday to Thailand.
Mhm.
Okay. And I guess we only have time for a few discussion questions. Do you have any other general questions about English or Spanish?
Uh, Not really. I haven't. I
Okay.
haven't thought of one, or I haven't think of one. I haven't thought.
I haven't thought. Yeah.
Like normally we use the past participle form of the verb um just after the has, have, and at, right?
Right. Yeah. You used it correctly.
Mhm. Honestly, I've been busy with the recruitment and I only got two very tiring, so tiring. Yeah,
Let me
just
know if I can help some.
huh?
Let me know if I can help a bit. I mean, I might not be able to help with the actual recruitment, but I can make some flyers or something like that. It just, I can't do anything in Chinese or anything
Oh,
that isn't in English.
I'm not sure whether it will work or not if let's say we like combine the class to, I mean we mix the class together with the Thais since
I
you are
don't,
taking Thai. I'm not sure whether they are
it
okay.
could work, but I was thinking that too, actually. Let's talk about it after our lesson.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so why is this so big? Okay, so if you could be anyone in this world other than yourself, who would you be? Let's skip that one. Okay, so let's talk about this one. If can you read
If
it?
if you were
And I don't know what the term is for Malaysia, so I just left it in.
if you were administrator of your town, what would you do?
Right. Do you have a mayor or an administrator? I
Mayor
know
of,
it's not called that, but
is it a politician,
yeah, it would be your local politician.
local politician? Oh yeah, we have that. What would you do? And do you want me to give a reply or response, or
Yeah, yeah. It's a discussion question.
oh,
So I might say I would fix the roads and I would try to do something about the traffic problem.
mm-mm. Yeah, I would try to improve the drainage system and also the potholes. I will assign the workers to fix the potholes and then to regulate the the parking system.
Right.
Like sometimes we have a lot of road users double parking. I can say double parking means like you don't park into that parking space, that lot, but you just park. You are
And
just blocking people's way, like when they,
correct. Yeah, that's double parking.
yeah. I would enforce a stricter law to um find the wrongdoers. Can I say to find the
Yeah.
wrongdoers of the road?
Wrongdoers.
Yeah. And then also we have some, I'm not sure whether is it illegal or not. I was try to, because we can find a lot of hawkers, they are setting up their stalls in different places and then it blocks the way. So
Yeah,
I
hawkers is the correct term there.
hawkers, yeah, I will try to fix that. Maybe I will make a place, I will come up with place to uh to house or to contain the hawkers. Can I say to contain the hawkers or to
Yeah,
house hawkers?
you could say either one. Contain seems more appropriate for what you're doing since you're trying to keep them contained away from other people where they can't annoy other people or
Yeah,
bother other people. Yeah, it's a big problem. Actually, and do you have them in the malls too?
you know, malls. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, inside the shopping malls, do you have them too? Like the ones that chase you?
Yes. Like
Yeah,
some hawkers, they have their own booth, right?
right.
And then, yeah, I have that.
It's a big problem in Thailand with the charities. The charities, they have people working. I don't think they're directly working for them, but these people get a percentage of all the money that gets donated if it's donated to them. So they sit in the malls and then they'll try to chase you down and get you to give money to whatever. Or sometimes it's like buy makeup or like, do you want to sit down and have your made like get makeup, get a makeover? But they're like aggressive. Like they'll like talk to you no matter what or chase you down. It's really, especially for people like me who don't like to talk to other people in public, it's very irritating.
Yeah, I used to go to Bangkok and then I went to the transgender show and then and then after the show they just chase us down and then they say, oh, do you want to take a photo? And then I was like, oh, why not? Let's do it. And then after that they just ask for money and then we were conned. So he was asking for minimum. Actually, we thought of like giving 100, but he said 300. 300 I can't remember 300 baht. Yeah, we were thinking of, actually he asked me and my it was me and my boyfriend went there and then he said 600 in total. I was like, what?
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
600 is more than most people in Thailand make in a whole day.
Oh, the money that they make. Oh,
If you
I make
work at if you work at like a computer shop, like I
money.
saw the advertisements, they were hiring new people and they said uh salary 400 baht per day. Or they didn't say salary, but whatever the Thai word is for salary.
Oh, so that's mean your salary is considered high in Thailand, right?
Yeah, yeah. I would be like upper middle class, but yeah. My salary is so low though that I don't pay taxes. If I was in the US, I would be on the poverty, like I would be below the poverty line. So it's funny how things change depending on where you live.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I would get money from the government basically if I were in the US. Okay,
I guess we can continue the rest the next time.
yeah, we'll have to continue the rest next time. I have this article that I think is interesting. So this is from Time Magazine about homework.
I can actually print this, right?
Yeah, you can. I shared it to you already, I believe.
So we will have this the next day or the following day after next day.
Correct. Yeah, 2 days from now.
I don't say next day, right?
You could as a joke, but yeah, grammatically, no. You would say the day after next.
The day after next. Oh,
Hmm.
the day after next.
Anyway,
Okay. And then I might need your help with the recruitment. Hopefully you don't mind now.
right.
I have
The
to.
issue will be finding clients that are. Most of my clients here are way below the level. Actually, I don't know what level these guys are at, but I could do it. I just don't know if there's going to be like a cultural issue.
Oh, I
You know what I mean? I don't know if there's going to be an issue with people because obviously you have a little advantage with these students because you'll be able to communicate with them, and I'll have a little bit of an advantage with the Thai students because I can communicate with them not as well as you. You know, my Thai is certainly not anywhere near as good as
too.
your Chinese or your Malay, but you
Huh?
see what
I
I
don't speak
mean?
Malay with the Thais.
Well, yeah, you can't do that. They're not going to understand you.
Okay, can you
And
please wait for a while? I need to charge my.
hold on, I'm gonna run to the bathroom actually. So be back. One moment.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, I can look into recruitment here. Um,
Yeah, but I have basically two persons are, I guess they are from the education line. So one of them is actually a principal of a learning center, but then when I speak to her, right, I can still notice that she still makes uh grammatical errors, like the basic
mhm.
ones she still makes some, and then another one is like in the lower level. So they are asking me, or what level are we in? So they are
Right.
asking for uh sorting the class. And then some of them they have budget, like they think that 250 MYR ringgit Malaysia is a little bit um high because of the higher frequency. We have two classes on in 1 month. but
1 week.
oh yeah, one week, correct.
Well, I would argue, first of all, it's lower than what you said is normal. Secondly,
Yes.
secondly, you need to have, in my opinion, you need to have at least 2 classes per week to actually learn something. I think
Yeah, I agree
one
with
class
that.
per week is too infrequent. And plus they're getting a native speaker, and they're getting a native speaker who actually is a
And they are
teacher.
actually comparing the prices. Like you have the locals, right? The locals, if the locals teach, they probably it will be about like 180 per month for two session for 8 classes per month.
Right.
It will be like 180. So we will roughly like $60, $60 more expensive, but um yeah, but they are just concerned about the price. But anyway,
Do the
like
local agencies, do they have native speakers?
I believe yes, they have but they take up a lot. I mean they take a big chunk of the profit. Maybe they just give a little, maybe 50-50. So I think it's unfair as as an educator myself. I don't want to like make use of you
Yeah,
just
yeah, no, I appreciate that. I'm just saying, I'm not talking about it in that sense. I'm more considering
just
if that
working.
price difference is actually a problem. Um, I think just be patient, and then the issue I'll have with recruiting, like from the educators here, is that they won't want to admit to me that they need to improve their English because I'm like an outsider, a foreigner. They want to be like, oh, I'm a principal or I'm a teacher, so obviously my English is really good, even if it's not. So it would be better. I could have my girlfriend help with recruiting a bit if she's interested. She usually helps with that sort of thing because they're more likely to approach her since she's Thai.
So you would rather set the class in the intermediate level
Let's
or
just see who signs up and then we can go from there. Let's
that
say
you
it's
will sort
intermediate.
out the class later?
Intermediate is a good starting point.
Intermediate.
Yeah, let's start it at intermediate. That way it doesn't intimidate people from joining, and it doesn't make the advanced, if they are actually advanced speakers.
Okay.
Like
Actually,
for
I
example,
have a Malaysian a Malaysian asking me whether I mean we accept student from China or not. And then she said that oh his wife is not proficient at all. I think he said that his wife doesn't understand English at all. So I think
all,
it doesn't work right. Or
no, it's not going to work.
okay.
That
So
would be more for you. I think they could learn from you because you can speak Mandarin, right?
mhm.
So, but they were not going to get anything from me, I don't think, unless she's exaggerating. I don't know. Some people say, "Oh, I can't speak English at all," but then they're English. I've had a student who said that. Oh, like she said, "Oh, I don't speak English at all," or like it's very poor, but her English was actually pretty good. Like she was able to answer some of the same discussion questions that I went over with you, just simplified a bit. So yeah, I mean, let's keep at it, and um
Do you need a poster or you will do it yourself?
I think the poster is fine. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay. Do you need my help to design it or no need?
No, I
Because
can
yeah,
do that myself.
generally you need to type in Thai, right? You will need to use Thai to promote your classes.
Actually, that's pretty new for me. In the past, I relied on word of mouth, like people giving me good reviews and telling their friends, and I had a full schedule. But with online teaching, yeah, I think it's a good idea to have English and Thai. I used to not advertise at all. I just posted on social media like pictures of me with students, etc. But
Oh,
that doesn't work for online classes. Not really.
oh,
You have
okay.
to make posters, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I will work on that and see if there's some people at the intermediate level that want to learn.
So I'll just inform them that we are on the intermediate level. Yeah.
Yeah, just intermediate. I wouldn't take anyone who says they can't speak English. That sounds like a disaster.
Oh, okay. So oh yeah, I actually reverted the fee structure to that person who asked me yesterday,
Hmm.
and he just seen my message. He hasn't made any reply yet. So
Okay.
yeah, if let's say but I am thinking of passing the whole to you, the whole class to you, because I am still not so confident with my proficiency. So I would rather just let you take uh all of the classes for the private classes.
All right. Well, I'm willing to go down to 2,500 baht, whatever that is in ringgit. But let him respond first. You don't want to discount it without him even saying anything. I don't think that's a good idea. Let him let him reply to you, and then if he doesn't say anything, then I guess we'll wait a few days, and then I can, because my fee structure was only set up for a maximum of five students. So I guess with 10 I could go down to 2,500 baht per head per person, because it would
Because
still
for
be
me, I
profitable.
think you have the right to charge higher.
Yeah.
According to the market, to the market value in Malaysia, it is
Okay.
higher. And yeah, do you need his contact or just wait for his reply?
Just wait first, and then we'll see from there.
Okay, maybe a few days later, right?
Yeah, send it to me now though. That way I have it.
You mean his contact?
Yeah, yeah. Just forward it his WhatsApp phone
He
number.
doesn't have WhatsApp, but he has it, but I didn't request for his number.
What is it?
But
Facebook?
on yeah, Facebook.
Okay, just send it, and then
I guess
I
super rich.
will
I
go.
guess he's super rich, super duper rich because he manages an online tuition platform with tens to 10 to 20 thousands of students,
Wow, yeah, that's
and they spend a lot on technology. Yeah, I guess money shouldn't be an issue, but who knows? He's a miser. We don't know.
yeah, a miser. Yeah, maybe.
Oh
All
my
right, just
God.
let me know. I have to go get my suit,
Okay,
and then I'm gonna go. I have to drive a bit. So,
I'll see
um,
you.
yeah, see you the day after next.
Okay, the day after next. Okay,
Okay.
see you and goodbye.